HuddleCamHD presents Back to the Basics Live, a high-definition broadcast Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live. Back to the Basics is all about video conferencing, full of product line tutorials and best practices. Bring your questions for a live Q&A session in the post-show. We review online meeting and live streaming technology every week during our advanced learning sessions. And now, Back to the Basics Live.
Welcome to the Back to the Basics HuddleCamHD show.
My name's Tess Protesto.
And I'm Paul Richards, and we're happy to have you here today.
Today we're talking about the SimplTrack auto tracking camera solution.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn on a little playlist that is going to cycle through all of the different camera angles that we have.
Is that going to include the SimplTrack today?
Including the SimplTrack.
Cool. So you'll be able to get a view from the SimplTrack
That will
today.
be very fun. I think right here, this camera, we've got it wall mounted actually right up here, and we'll be showing you that. But I actually wanted to start with just a few quick tips about using auto tracking cameras. And thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like this video and share it with anybody in your organization that might want to check it out. So there's the SimplTrack right there. And the first couple things I wanted to share, and this is going to cover me up, but I want to show I was covering you up, Tess, sorry.
No, that's fine because you're talking anyways. It makes sense.
So this is the bottom of the unit, and we'll be showing this off throughout the day today. And the bottom of the unit has a network port, and that's how we're going to be able to control it from anywhere on our local area network. We can live stream video off of it. And it also has an HD Sdi port, which may be unfamiliar to some of us, but we basically include 100 feet of HD Sdi cabling and a frame grabber. And I'll show you what that does. But essentially, it allows you to plug in this camera to any PC or Mac computer, laptop, desktop, any of those, and go ahead and plug right in. Now the ceiling mount here is the ceiling mount addition. So you'll see the last two digits of the SKU is CM, and it's a very nice little ceiling mount that allows you to adjust, put the camera right on the ceiling, and then you can simply have it mounted on the ceiling and invert the image so that it looks right. We also have a tripod mount. You can see the SKU is -TP, and that fits right on a tripod. So
nice.
That's a super easy one. We're showing the ceiling mount wall mounted today. Here's the ceiling mount. So one of the things to notice is that all the cables come from the bottom of the camera. So these are kind of custom mounts, but it makes for a very clean and easy installation. And if you've never seen a frame grabber before, Tess, I know you've seen this before.
Yeah, we have them lying around.
We've got them everywhere. In fact, there's one right here we'll show off in a second. But these basically take the HD Sdi right at your computer and convert it to USB 3.0 so that you can very quickly and easily, here's one here, they're very just like small little devices that you can plug right in. So that's just a quick look at it. Of course, there's a lot more to it, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into a live demo. In fact, this right here is the view from the SimplTrack. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and show one camera on the SimplTrack itself. And I'm going to get rid of our lower third just for a moment. And then the bottom image there on the bottom left, that's the software.
To control the SimplTrack.
To control the SimplTrack. So you're going to see me operating the software here with my mouse.
So it can function as a pan-tilt zoom camera where the user controls it, or an automatic tracking camera.
Yes.
Good to know.
So I can take the tracking software full screen to show all of the functionality. I think I'd like to do that, but this is the space here. I'll just zoom out really quickly with the zoom out button. This is all over IP, so it can be done by any computer on your network. And this is the room that we're in. So one of the cool things we're going to show you is, Tessa's going to walk up and down, and it's going to automatically track her when we turn it on. But also, she's going to be walking in front of a projector and a television, and that will not, throw it off in any way.
Even though there's going to be movement on the screens, that's not going to throw it off.
Nope, it should still be just fine.
I'm sort of learning about this product myself, so this should be good today.
And I'll just, before we do our live demo, I just want to quickly, I guess we're kind of in the midst of a live demo. I want to quickly show this software just a little bit more here, you can see that if I go to settings, what it's going to do is it's actually going to fly off the screen.
AKA, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Whoops.
We have multiple different screens here that we're constantly dragging our browsers from screen to screen. It can be a little hectic.
Come on.
There we go.
All right, I know you can get over there. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. And when I click that settings, you see how there's two different camera angles? They look kind of similar, but the one on the right-hand side, that's showing our tracking zone. And we can actually open up all of these advanced parameters over here for selecting our video resolution, our blocking zones. For example, we might want to block a small area and say, well, this part over here is actually Paul. And if I move, I don't want the tracking camera to get confused by that.
You can really customize it to your specific space.
And I can see here that the tracking sensitivity is set all the way to high. The pan speed, I'm going to set these to kind of medium. And we're going to go ahead and see how that works. I'm going to turn auto tilt off. We'll leave auto zoom on. Auto tilt would allow it to tilt up and down. And I don't mind actually leaving that, but sometimes if you don't need it to go up and down, you just want it to follow left and right, you can turn that off.
JAC is wondering how a second person who walks into the tracking area will throw it off and how it can autocorrect for that, if we can try and show its reaction with that.
Let's do our first demo, and then let's definitely show that as well.
Cool.
So let me go ahead and click save, and then I will click
unplug here.
OK. The other thing that we just showed is I just briefly was able to show the there's an object lost functionality as well, that if the object is lost, it will go to a given position. But all right, so Tess, ready?
Sure.
Here comes the live demo. So I have to go ahead. It's not going to track test quite yet because I have to go ahead and hit start tracking control. So you see that at the bottom there, there's start and stop. So I'm going to hit start now. And it's going to go ahead and hopefully not see me. And then, Tess, you should be able to go ahead and walk around.
Should be able to start walking.
Mm-hmm. So it will follow Tess throughout the room. And it'll basically just automatically track her. So depending on what she's doing that day, the video would be recorded completely. And right now we have it cropped to a certain frame. Now a little bit of the top of the television is cut off. So we could actually make the frame a little larger to show that, which is maybe something I'll do live to show how that works. But the live demo is working well. You should be able to go all the way over to that rack over there, and it should follow you pretty well. Now, I have it on slow, so
Does it still see me?
it's still tracking you, yeah.
Does it see me now?
It's still tracking you, yeah. Ta-da! So the frame is pretty good for Tess walking left to right, but I could actually maybe zoom it out a little bit, and I'll show how that works. And we could also turn up the tracking speed. So we turned it down a little bit. It's nice and slow. I mean, I think it's a comfortable speed, but I could actually make the speed faster and it would respond faster. So yeah, that is essentially how it works. Let me hit, when I hit this settings button, it seems to jump over to the other screen for some reason, but I'll drag it back here. Now, what I'll do is, so we just showed it in kind of a medium level. I'm going to turn the tracking sensitivity up to high and the pan speed up to high.
I can pick up the pace a little bit.
We could pick up the pace a little bit. I'm also going, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out just a hair. Oh, okay, stop control. Zoom out just a hair more and hit set. And preset 1 is your frame. So if I zoom it out just a little more, because the top of that television, just in case we wanted that, hit set, hit save, and hit OK. I'll drag this back. And now I'll just hit the start button again. All right. So now it's a little more zoomed out, and you should be able to do exactly the same and go left to right, and it will follow you. Ta-da!
I feel like a model.
Tess, you're doing a great job. People can see on the top left that the camera's moving. On the bottom right, on the bottom left, they can see the software. And then right here, they can see that the camera's working. Matt Davis is saying, the SimplTrack will follow the largest moving object. You can do a handoff between two people by having one walk in front of the other. If two people are in view, it will get confused until there is a single individual to track again. Otherwise, as mentioned above, it will track the largest moving object. Let us know if you need any more information. I'll be happy to help. So, Tess, you did a great job. That concludes our live demo. And now we can just go ahead and hang out with you guys and answer questions as needed. Matt Davis did a little demo of that, or it kind of explained how that works.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Tess. How did it feel to be a model for the day?
Listen, I was born for it. No problem here.
Good job. What did you guys think? Did it track pretty well?
From what I could see, it did great.
Yeah, it didn't really lose you. And it's supposed to be simple, and I think that's why they named it the SimplTrack. It's a very simple, easy to set up product where we're able to just bring in what it does. Look, there's a funny comment on Facebook.
It's Emily and Matt.
You guys are the bomb diggity diggity.
No, Emily said that we're the bomb diggity. Matt said we're the bomb diggity diggity. They're cute.
Oh, that's so nice.
JAC. In the classroom auditoriums, the doors are in the front of the room, and even the doors are outside the tracking area. The students may come into frame when walking to their seat.
I see. In classroom auditoriums, the doors are in the front of the room. Even if the doors are outside of the tracking area, the students may come into the frame. So let me show the software just a little bit deeper as we try to answer that question, because I think that we can answer that question with some of the things that have been built into the software to accommodate
Similar
that.
to what you were showing with the blocking. If you wanted to block out the area, if there's like a section that's lower in the frame, maybe
that's what I was
students
thinking,
may be walking through, you could block that area out.
So what I'm going to do, if we have the chance, is I'm going to try my best to show the software up, and let's see here. What we'll do is there we go. All right, sorry, just give me 1 sec, and I'm going to get the software.
We could try having me step through the bottom of it while you're
in front of the we can. Let's just take a look at what we could possibly do in that situation in the software, and then we could try to do it live. We don't have any wireless microphones, but
yeah, that would be troublesome.
Couple things here. You guys are looking at the software. Is one of the things you can see here is that we have 3 cameras. So as we go in between them, there we go. It will actually automatically connect to different cameras. So this is another one here. It takes a second to lock in. And then this is the one in our room here. So it's just double click any of the cameras on your network. It automatically finds them, and we're able to pull in the video. If we hit the advanced parameters, there we go. We can set up 8 different blocking zones. So we put that one blocking zone there in the bottom right. But if we want to set up a second blocking zone, maybe in the bottom left, and then maybe even a third blocking zone, all the way across, that would allow us to
protect that area.
Yeah, to protect that area. So if I were to walk in front of that area, it should...
It looks like does it not let you overlap them? Oh, the line is just too thin for me to see. I got confused with the third one.
Yeah,
I can see it's there,
thin.
But it was just thinner. Maybe when you layer them, it
changes slightly a bit of the color. So I guess that's really what I'm assuming we would recommend. You can also have it, instead of having it track in the beginning, you could have it just go to a specific position.
If there's like a setup time where your audience is being seated.
And it looks like, so there's only one tracking area. So you can overlap the blocking areas with the tracking area.
Okay.
So I think JC is saying again, or did he already say that?
That's the same comment.
Okay. So hopefully that answers your question, JC. It does have 20x optical zoom, so there's a large ability to zoom in. Let's show the zoom capabilities.
And it's SDI or USB?
Yes.
Whatever your preference.
Whatever your preference is. So if we zoom in all the way...
What's this 64 gigabytes of internal memory?
Oh, that's a good question. So there's 64 gigabytes of internal memory, and that is an SD card. So if we go into the configure area here, this will pop up, and this allows us to still attach to any camera on our network, and we can actually stream RTMP. So we can actually stream directly to YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Or Facebook, or a server on your network. And we can go into the SD card setting and say enable recording. And then we can say when it boots up, just start recording, or start recording manually, or override when full. And we can set up the resolution and frame rate right there.
Do you think that configuring your zoom to be at a certain place could help the camera to not be offset by secondary objects moving into the frame? Maybe
I think so.
Customize
that's
your
a
zoom.
good point. And let's mention that. I think that's a really good point, Tess, is that on the left-hand side, you're seeing the zoomed in section, and the right-hand side, you're actually seeing a secondary camera that's on the bottom of the camera. So if we see here, see how there's a camera on the bottom?
Yes.
So that camera actually is a wide-angle camera that shows the whole area, and then the top camera can zoom in further.
Oh, nice.
So you're right. If we were to go ahead and zoom in to a further setting, we would be able to go in further. So I'll go ahead and hit that.
That might be another option for a solution when trying to troubleshoot the possibility of another person or object coming into frame, offsetting the tracking.
Yeah, and we have had the chance to look at a lot of different settings, and I think that is probably the best way to do it.
Great.
So that actually concludes our live show. I hope it was helpful for everyone. I think the live demo worked great. I mean, that's what it does.
Yeah, we'll stick around for a couple questions after we run the credits. Thank you all for joining us. Feel free to find us on Facebook at HuddleCamHD1. And also go ahead and give us an email if you want to talk more about the SimplTrack camera, if you're interested in purchasing one. Should we offer Margaret's contact, I wonder?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put Margaret's contact into the chat so you can get in touch with her after this. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
For tuning in for this week's Back to the Basics Live. Your participation drives the conversation forward for technology enthusiasts around the world. Looking for more? Engage with industry professionals just like you in our Facebook user group. See you next week on Back to the Basics Live.
Great to have you all here, and hopefully you caught that fun live demo. That was all recorded in 1080p on YouTube and 720p on Facebook.
Yeah, if you want to go back and watch it on demand, feel free.
It will be there for you. Hopefully, we're here to answer all your questions. So if you're watching this on demand and you missed our live show, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. Tess is putting Margaret Willman's email address into the chat room, but if you're watching this on demand, it's margaret.willman@HuddleCamHD.com, and she is our technical director on the SimplTrack, and she works closely with people getting demo units, people getting more information about how to deploy this. There's a lot of great information out there, and we're just here to answer questions live, and we had a few questions that we were able to answer right away.
JAC says, if the track gets off, does it have an auto correct setting?
That is a good question. There is a basically a preset that you can set to have it. It's called I guess it's called the if it's lost, go to this specific position.
Okay.
And I believe
Allow you to
it's in the
readjust.
manual. I was reading the manual on the way into here, and I think it's preset 0
Okay.
will automatically, so if you're a teacher is at a podium or a specific area, you can go to preset 0 and set it exactly how you want it to be. So if a whole bunch of people are running in front of the screen, it'll go right back to that podium area.
Great. That's a great solution for that. I think that's about it for the chat today.
Okay, great.
One more actually from David. David says, can you switch between the wider shot and the tighter shot? And if not, how do you get the camera out to a switcher?
Okay, so the only HD SDI output, there's two ways to get the camera into a switcher. If you're using a software switcher like we are, and I'll show this in this shot, if maybe it'll make a little bit more sense here. Here, and I'll remove this lower third so that you can see it a little better, is we're using vMix. It's a software switcher. So we're bringing all the cameras into here, and we're actually bringing the camera in via HD SDI to a 4-port HD SDI PCIe card. I know that's a lot of letters and probably not the way most people will use it. Most people will probably take the HD SDI feed from the camera, which can go up to 100 feet, very high quality plenum rated cabling. You can run it in the ceiling, no problem, and then plug it into an HD SDI frame grabber. And this frame grabber will convert to that's an HDMI version, but there's a HD SDI version. Let me see if I can find one. We've got them all over the place.
It's probably a lost cause for today.
Yeah, it's probably a lost cause, but you
there
can see
are
right there at the bottom, that goes to USB 3.0. So that way you can bring it into Skype or GoToMeeting or WebEx
but
or
you can set
any
something
different
like 200 some presets with the camera, right? Or is that just if you're using the pan-tilt zoom function?
Yeah, you can. You can have a bunch of different presets as well.
With
I'm not
the
sure
auto
the
tracking?
maximum amount. So if it's in auto tracking mode, which was the little start button that you saw me push during the presentation, it's going to take control. That's what it's supposed to do.
Okay, yeah.
So all of the presets, all of the pan tilt zoom, those functions are gone. It's in auto tracking mode. But when you hit stop tracking, then you can call presets, and it's just like a
And
regular
if you have somebody
camera.
switching for you, they can switch between those functions and sort of run the production for you on that. And if you're interested in doing the auto tracking function and the pan-tilt zoom function within the same event or speech or whatever it is that you're using it for.
I could definitely see that happening, where you want to turn off tracking, call a preset, maybe pan around a little, show the crowd, show the students for a moment, and then turn auto tracking on, kick your feet up, do something else, do your normal work, and then come back, and it should be all fine.
Yeah, and if it's some sort of performance, there might be certain segments that you'd want that auto tracking function for, and then certain segments that you wouldn't. If it's something that's really professional and has somebody behind the scenes controlling everything.
Yes. And don't quote me on this, but I believe what it says in the manual is preset 1 is that you want to set for your stage. So if there's a stage and it's a performance, you would zoom out and show that would be preset 1. And the camera would never go any further than the left to right of preset 1. And then preset 0, you zoom in, and that is what you want to generally be, the height and width of your tracking
It's kind of your
screen.
safe space.
And it's also the lost space as well. So if it does get lost for some odd reason, it would go back to that specific position and then start tracking from there.
Can the auto track and manual be done via RS-232 or IR?
Auto track and manual be done via RS-232 and IR.
How do you set the presets?
I believe it's
Is it-
all over IP. I'm almost positive everything is done over IP.
Matt, our lead engineer, is in
Wonder
the
if
chat.
he's
He can
here.
help us with that because it seems like we're not sure. I'm definitely unsure.
I'm pretty sure everything's over IP. So that means it is almost required to have the camera on the network.
I'm assuming that the control software does not have to be online for the camera to work in auto track.
That's true. That is true. It basically, you can just, one of the settings we were looking at earlier was the ability to, have it just auto track on boot. And you can also have it auto record to the included 64 gigabyte SD card. So
Control IP and RS-232.
Oh, okay, great.
Sweet.
Okay, so you can.
Yeah, so that's good news. And also, you can be 50 feet away from it I saw that too, just looking
Yep,
at this.
about 50 feet away.
That's
It has a
awesome.
very powerful 20x optical zoom
Okay.
lens on it. And if you look in the manual, see that JAC, that is a complicated question, but I'm almost positive if you look in the manual, all the codes that you can issue over RS-232 are in the manual, and I'm guessing one of them initiates and stops the auto track, but I didn't look that far into the manual myself.
Margaret is saying that preset 0 is the stage and preset 1 is for framing the individual.
Got it.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Yep, that's in the manual. I was reading it, I just couldn't remember which one was which there. So yeah, this has been really helpful. We got a lot of great questions throughout this presentation.
Yeah, I thought so too. It's a good one.
And
Thank
I
you
hope that
guys
everyone
again.
enjoyed it. Again, we are going to be going back and looking at the comments. We both get an email, right, whenever there's a comment.
Mhm.
So we always check. We get the answers for you. It has a 2-year warranty, I believe. I'm pretty sure because most of the cameras from HuddleCam all have a 2-year warranty. Maybe if you just search for a warranty on the page, but it's available through many of our resellers and distributors. So it's available on B&H Photo, CDW, a whole host of distributors and resellers that we work with.
1 year parts and labor.
Okay, so it's a 1-year warranty, parts and labor. And we've got a great support team who can help you get through all of that as well. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Was there anything we missed, Tess?
I think that every time I say that, something else pops up, which is good.
Yeah.
We're happy to help. World News on Demand says, give us a scenario where multiple huddle cams can be used. Can you assign each camera to different individuals or the cameras will get crazy? Thinking about stage performances.
In that scenario, you are probably going to want to have, real controlled cameras.
Yeah,
Like with a I'm trying to think of our joystick.
PTZ
I'm
cameras.
not sure we have a joystick around here, but check our website. We have real joystick controllers with real pan-tilt zoom cameras, and you need a real human brain to follow these stage performances, I think.
Yeah, if it was that complicated with multiple people and multiple cameras.
Now, in that scenario, one of the good things that you can do is you can daisy chain the controls of the cameras. In fact, I just noticed we've got this camera here, and you can see on the back that it has RS-232 in and out. And every HuddleCam has RS-232 in and out. So you could connect the joystick to the first one, and then have the second one connect to the third, and the third to the fourth.
And control them all
And control them all from a
one
single joystick.
Well,
So
that's convenient.
it's kind of like having a master controller where you go, camera 1, move it over here. Camera 2, move it over here. And then you have somebody changing the cameras from left to right. And we have customers that do that all the time, but they don't necessarily use the auto tracking camera for very complicated stage performances.
Right. In theory, you could, I suppose, if you had a very specific area that you were keeping the tracking
Probably could
function
in some places.
to, and it wasn't just a full stage shot from multiple angles. That would be tough with the blocking even. That would be tough.
Yeah.
But
I
if
mean,
it
you're
were
right,
a very
there is
specific
blocking.
area, yeah.
I guess it is possible. I mean, you saw what's possible. It really is built for semi-controlled environments. A teacher at the front of a classroom, a presenter at the front of a training room.
Maybe a solo performance.
A solo performance would be perfect.
That would be perfect.
And it's a really nice camera. With that HD SDI, it does 1080p 60, which is 60 frames per second. So if you are doing performances with a lot of fast movement and everything,
You'll be fine with that.
oh yeah, the 60 frames is very, very crisp and nice. So it's 60 frames per second.
We should come up with a sensor wristband to assign one camera to one individual and so on and so forth. That's interesting. Clever idea.
That's interesting. In that scenario, it would work. In many of the teacher environments, they lose the wristbands or they lose there are other products that have the wristbands and the dongles that they wear. But I think a lot of people complain about them requiring batteries and running out of batteries.
Having to buy a new one every 2 months.
Getting
when
lost. So we tried to make this product has a specific purpose that's very simple and easy to use. It doesn't solve every problem in the world, but we think that for education, for presentations, for professional recordings, we tried to make it, I don't want to say the word dummy proof, but we've tried to make it as simple as possible so that when you deploy this, you can just trust that it's going to work in the given scenario that you have.
I think that covers it for today. Thank you guys so much
Thanks,
for joining us.
everybody.
Feel free to contact us with any further questions.
So happy to have you all here. Take care. Bye.